Welcome to the Gray Man Reviews, and this is your host, Gray. So, this is my first time doing a YouTube manga review, so be kind. But we're here to talk about Samurai 8. I just finished reading the first chapter. Well, I read it yesterday, and we're going to upload today, Monday. So, let's get into it. This story is a creation of the creator of Naruto, which kind of gives me a lot of hope, to be honest. Like, I'm really excited for this, especially because I love Naruto. Like, yeah, I understand like the critiques of it, of how it's rushed at the end and certain things like that, but just like certain characters and just like the world that he created is, I guess, what's awe inspiring to me. It's like, regardless of the story that he wanted to tell, he probably still has full like knowledge of that world and that whole universe that he created, and could tell other stories, and other stories could be told in that world. And so it's just great like that. I kind of wish that mangas were similar to comics, where other artists and writers will go in and add stuff to certain universes like this, because I think that would be really cool too. But that's not what's happening out there. We just have great artists doing some great work. And so, let's go ahead and get into the chapter review. So, starts off full color page, which is amazing because who doesn't like a full color page? And starts off with a Sage of the Six Paths looking character, which is reminiscent of Naruto, which doesn't bother me at all. Because again, like I said, I really liked Naruto, so that wouldn't bother me. And I'm loving the color scheme so far, the blues and the orange. I have a feeling that orange is probably one of the preferred colors. That's what I would say. It's probably a color that he prefers. Just because, well, it's Naruto's main color. It's the color of the Sage dude, and the box of Pandora, which needs the 7 keys to be opened. And the first key is found in Hachiro. And so, the story starts off kind of like a cyberpunk-ish. A little bit. Where there's clearly like some rustic qualities to the universe, but there's also some technological advances, like there's cyborgs. There's a whole machine that allows Hachimaru to survive his living machine, which all that becomes irrelevant towards the middle of the chapter, but we'll get there. Starts off with, like I said, the Sage of Six Paths looking character, darker skinned character, so that's surprising. I'm liking that, having darker skinned people in this universe, and already one of the main characters. I'm assuming he's pretty powerful if he's like giving an explanation of like the universe and the world and like what samurais do. And so he ends up having a conversation with this other man named, that turns out to be the mentor of the main character, Hachimaru, Bamaru, in this cat body. And he's known as the lone wolf of the samurai, and usually travels by himself, and is like the hero of the galaxy. And he created the game that Hachiro is playing in the very beginning of the show, which kind of pulls inspiration from, I want to say, our world, where you see like kids just not really worried about being outside, or just like diving into games and like that being their full life, and like he's really into this game, like that's all he plays. And so it's just interesting seeing that, where now he was before playing as the main character Bamaru, which is his master, but now he's actually traveling alongside of him. But it starts off opening, and you kind of see two samurais clash, and the samurai clash is really dope. I love the art so far. Like, I'm liking the battles. I like that it's reminiscent of Naruto, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a direct copy of, like, oh, look at that's Naruto with a different name. Oh, there's Sasuke with a different name. So it doesn't feel like that. It's just like you can kind of stylistically tell, and I think that's probably because it's done by a different artist this time instead of, I want to say Kishimoto. Instead of Kishimoto doing all of the art and all of the story writing, he's just doing the story, and it's being illustrated by another artist. And if y'all hear clicking, that's me looking up the name because I want to make sure. I want to make sure it's Kishimoto. Yeah. Yep. Kishimoto. Cool. So yeah. So this is, it's like I said, I'm loving it so far. The first opening battle where the two samurais clash, and oh, the lone wolf wins. That's an interesting situation and dynamic because it gives you like more exposition on what's happening in the world. I guess what the goal of the world is really, and it's to find these 7 keys and unlock Pandora's box, which is really weird because you must seek out Pandora's box. Within the box is spelled out the means that the warrior god Furumayo once used to save the stars. So in this story, Pandora's box doesn't release evil from what it seems right now. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but from the opening scenes and everything like that, it doesn't seem like it releases evil. Furumayo once used, yeah. So I feel like this Pandora's box is a little different than the Pandora's box that we're all probably familiar with, where you open it and then all the tragedies and sicknesses and illnesses that befall the world are now released upon the world. So this is to save the stars. So they clash, and the lone wolf wins, and he gets a key, and he's kind of tested, and it's like the main character, this is Sage, samurai. He asks him, "Are you ready? Like, you do know that your ass attitude is gonna like make you end up dying like a dog. Are you ready for that?" And he responds that if that's his destiny, then he'll face it proudly, which is kind of like what the main samurai was looking for. It's not like the fight was to test his skills, but he really didn't care about that. He cared more so about like what his intentions were and who he was as a person. So I feel like that's probably going to be really important, is like following the samurai code, because in the first chapter we see a samurai who happens to be a ronin, which if you don't know what a ronin is, it's a rogue samurai, someone who doesn't have a master, usually on some trash, which this ronin is on trash immediately. And so Hachiro's father is working on a mobile life support unit for Hachiro where he can now move around and go into the outside world, because Hachiro is connected to the house's life support unit and has never been able to leave the house. And it's very interesting how this character who is super afraid of everything is going to be the main character and have to be like the hero of the story and the leader of everything. Yeah, and so, well, I don't know if he'll be the leader because, like I said, he is traveling with his sensei. So sensei will probably be, or his master as he calls him, will probably be the actual leader of the group. But I'm pretty sure he's going to, since he's obviously the main character, is going to end up being dope. But right now he's afraid of sharp objects like needles and knives and shit like that. And so it's kind of hilarious that he's like, I want to be a samurai. I want to be out in the world. I want to be brave. I want to be a bushi, which are like Guardians of the Galaxy, basically. And this princess. I don't know who the princess is or what she does or really anything about the world so far in this first chapter, except for there's samurai, there's ronin, there's Bushi, and there's these like programmable pets that you have. And he has a dog that meows. And his dad keeps telling him that it's a cat, but he keeps saying that it looks like a dog, so it's a dog. But when it got it turned into its full form, it definitely meowed like a cat at the very end. So I don't know if it's a cat or not. I think it's a cat. I don't think he knows what it is. But this this chapter showed some family struggle. Had our main character telling his dad that he hated him. He hated being stuck to the tube, and as soon as he got off of those, he was out of there and never coming back. But we see that's not the truth, because at the very close of the chapter, where like it's getting towards the climax and the villain's here, he actually commits seppuku, which is ritual suicide for samurais, to save his dad's life, which ends up unlocking and awakening his samurai soul, and he gets blessed by the god of samurais and everything like that, Mayo. And gosh, he gets lit and ends up beating the villain that looks like kind of like a future punk Naruto. And so I don't know if this guy's going to come back or be around more or longer. I kind of hope not. Hachimaru seems like I want everybody to kind of be older than Hachimaru. Like, I don't want him to go around and pick up a whole bunch of other kids that are also going to be samurai. I want him to go find like other people that are like maybe just like in different positions in life. I think that'd be a little bit more interesting than like, because Naruto had all the kids are the future and this is the next generation and we're going to watch that. And so I don't want a retelling of that. Like, oh, let's go gather all the children and save the world again. Because that would feel kind of like Kishimoto's doing more of the same. Even though I might be here for it. It could end up being dope. Who knows? But boss, aka the villain of this episode, gets defeated at the very end, gets slashed up by Hachimaru. Once his armor gets taken off, actually. Bamaru has to take off his helps Hachimaru out after getting stabbed in the stomach. And so there's a lot of action and violence in this episode, which is a lot different than most shonen manga do, and shonen action, just shonen style manga. It's a lot more, has a little more dark edge to it, and so maybe that's the direction that shonen is moving forward, where it's allowing for more of a darker tone, where still not necessarily complete like seinen, where Hachimaru's like really dead or the dad dies or something like that, or like people are dying right off the bat, but still a darker feel than like, oh, the happiness, or we can convince you, or I'm not going to sacrifice my life. No, dude really stabs himself in the stomach and dies. And dude takes his heart out, unlocks this crimson sword, which is pretty dope. I don't know. I'm excited for this manga. When does the next chapter come out? I think the 19th. So I should have the review up on the 20th. Yeah. This is the first review of many to come. If y'all want me to review another manga, got some content out there that y'all was like, hey, you should read this, let me know. I'm always looking for new shit. If you want me to start reviewing a series that you're into, I don't necessarily have to be versed on it. I will do a little background research, and I'll start off from where you tell me it's a good point of starting, and I'll catch up, and then I'll start doing reviews. But I'm not gonna like binge like from the very start of a manga and read all the way through. So I need some spark notes and a good point to start at, and then I'll start doing reviews for it though. So I'm not starting from the beginning though. Let me put it like this: One Piece is one of my favorite shows. I love it. I started it at episode like 328, and I have not looked back since. I'm fully current with the anime and manga now. I know everything that's going on. I'm good. I don't need those other three. Those 300 episodes that I missed, I'm fine. I am so fine without them. I know what's going on in Wano. I'm here for it all. Fucking finding out about Zoro and him being potentially from Wano or having some type of connection, or his master having a connection to Wano and maybe being from Wano. Just lots of different things happening in One Piece that I'm keeping up with and watching and reading. But I definitely didn't start it out at chapter 1 because I didn't want to. So I didn't. But no, this has been the Gray Man Reviews. So I'm out of here. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know, all that good YouTube shit. This is my first time. I almost left out of here without saying any of that. I had to hit the record button again. Just so I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. Yeah, I definitely stopped. Was about to hit save, be done with this. I was like, oh shit. Didn't tell them like, subscribe, comment. You know, shit. I'm gonna be out here. I'll have a Twitter up, a new YouTube page. Yeah. Well, it won't be new because once I upload this, it'll all be done, and then it'll be there. But yeah, y'all see. I'm gonna get it together.